First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi, bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim and you Akwat that believe in all sincerity. Okay, so what you just saw was a clip, okay, from this guy's channel, okay, and this is on BitChute, but you can also find this on YouTube, okay. And I recorded it from BitChute just not to, get a copyright infringement. But this is the title. It says Anti-White Lunacy Goes Supernova in America. Here's what needs to be done before it's too late. And basically, in a nutshell, he's ranting on how Edomite racism is becoming a norm in America. Okay. And some of the things he said is that that the U.S. is like every other city in society or country, that I should say, that have had a percentage of the population that owns slaves. Okay, a sin that they have more than atoned for. He also went to say that Edomites have provided protection for non-white people, that they have implemented a variety of social programs. Okay, and they have granted more rights and extra privileges, okay, for non-whites, okay. And he also went to say liberals won't be happy until blacks and Latinos outnumber Edomites, okay. He also said liberals still want to make them pay for things that happened 150 years ago. He also said that people are accusing Edomites from benefiting from being white, and the supposedly white supremacy is the bedrock of every American institution. Okay, and one of the things that they forget is that America was, founded, okay, on Edomite supremacy. All right, he went on to say that Edomite people in America today are pressured to be ashamed, okay, of being Edomites, and are encouraged to feel guilt for existing, while all other races can feel proud of their race. Okay, and that being proud of being an Edomite is racist. Okay. He also said, which I thought was, very hypocritical, that favoritism based on race goes against everything the U.S. stands for. Okay. Then at the end, he, wanted to quote Martin Luther King, okay? And that's just like an Edomite to, throw a guy like Martin Luther King in the mix, which, Martin Luther King was actually, quoted for saying that he believed he integrated his people into a burning house, okay? So, it's interesting how these devils can, basically get away with murder, I wanted to get this right here. This is Psalms 10 and 13. Wherefore doth the wicked contemn the Most High? Okay. He has said in his heart, thou will not require it. Okay. And they believe that Yahawah bahasham Yahawahshi is not going to punish them, and that's how they speak. And that's why guys like Mark Day speak that way, you see, because they're actually,
Strong's H 5006. Naats.
Right. It says to spurn, contemn, despise, abhor. Okay. They abhor righteousness. They abhor the people of Yahawah, Yahawahshi, which are the Israelites, the so-called blacks, the Latinos, the Native Americans. It says, thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. So Yahawah bahasham Yahawahshi sees mischief and spite, okay, and he's going to requite it, okay, with his hand, meaning he's going to judge that nation, okay. This is Psalm 73 and 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. And basically lofty, which is the root word for loftily,
lofty,
it means having a haughty, overbearing manner, supercilious. And when you hear this guy speak, it's quite overbearing. All right. He just goes on and on how, so-called Negroes, are getting away with being racist, right, to Edomites. But there's nothing that we could do that could equal what has been done, okay, to the nation of Israel. You see, not in this lifetime, okay. So that's what lofty is, having a haughty, overbearing manner. So they are corrupt. They speak wickedly. Okay, they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, right? They're overbearing and haughty, right? Thinking that they've more than atoned, for slavery. They provided protection, okay, for non-whites. They've implemented variety of social programs. They think that just because they hand out welfare or reservations or that they're doing something, but reparations are nothing, which Jake ain't never got reparations, but they think that just doing stimulus checks that they're doing good, they're making up. Okay, it says they set their mouth against the heavens and their tongue walketh through the earth. And when you hear this dude speak on this video, which I encourage you to watch this video. They basically their tongue walketh through the earth, man. Their English is one of the most ambiguous languages, okay, that is out there. And these Edomites, they know how to use the English. Their tongue walketh through the earth. They set their mouth against the heavens, right? They're blasphemous. You see, the Lord has heard the blasphemies that thou hast spoken, all right, against Israel. You see, Ezekiel 35:12, and thou shalt know that I am Yahawah, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume. And that's what they think. They think that Israel is through, you see, and that the Lord doesn't see, what they're doing, that they're able to speak, okay, against, Jake, they're able to just have us in slavery, and that it was that it was 150 years ago, they always, they want us to get over it, right? But the Lord heard all those blasphemies, you see, which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. So they believe that, that we're given into their hand, ultimately to do us whatever they want. Okay, thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. You see, so the Lord sees, okay, all this propaganda, and that's really what it is. I mean, this dude, he's an agent for Esau. They get on these platforms and they speak, for Edom. You see, it says, "Thus saith Yahawah thy power, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate." Okay, because ultimately there's going to come a judgment, for what they've done. And that's why they want to get rid of slavery out of the textbooks. They want to erase, that history, because they know that it condemns them. As a matter of fact, I was reading, let's see, in the book of Obadiah, okay, it says, "For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee." Okay, and the other day, I was I was going to do this video yesterday, but But what happened was, I actually Googled this because, like I mentioned, it was on YouTube. So I Googled the title, and hopefully there was an article because YouTube gives you copyright infringements. But there was another link, okay, and that link had a tweet below it. Okay, and when you Google this link, it's like the first link, but that first link has a tweet on the bottom of it, and basically it was just a bunch of clips of a bunch of college professors, calling out Edomites, you know, and some of the things they were saying is that the Edomites are inhumane. Let them die. Okay, these are college professors that are writing articles. Okay, and these are the headlines, and some of them were, all Edomite people are racist and sexist. Believing in hard work is Edomite ideology. There was also a college professor from FGCU that said that they were teaching a course on Edomite racism. One college professor said that he was teaching his children to be cautious and distrust friendship with Edomite people. So there's a lot of violence. Okay, there's a lot of shame that is covering them. Okay, only he who let will let until he be taken out of the way. The Lord is letting, these Edomites reign and think they're going to, start that new world organization, so to speak. But really they're not. Okay, it says, for violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces. Okay, and this is going into Nebuchadnezzar the second. Okay, when he sacked Jerusalem and took the king of Judah. All right, Jehoiakim in the 8th year of his reign. Okay, and the king of Babylon took his mother, okay, his servants, princes, his wives, the officers, men of valor. They took the treasure, out of the house of the Lord, treasures out of the king's house. They took the gold vessels that were in the temple. I mean, there's a lot of history, okay, that Esau, fails to go into, and they know these things, man. Like I said, this is we're fighting against the left-hand side, their priesthood, their witches and their warlocks, their people that are on platforms, and they're surprised that we've, through the Spirit, used the system against them and using, the internet and YouTube and social media and all these different, because, hey, Jake is what? A supplanter, you see? And that's a gift that the Lord gave Israel to beat them at their own game, and be better than them, to basically, how do I say? For lack of words, just, outdo them at their own game. Right? To supersede them and be better than them, take the rug right under their feet, so to speak. Okay, but it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. So, Esau has a history, okay, of just standing by and watching, other nations that are enemies to Israel and have always been, okay, and was like one of them. They always make treaties with, these other nations. Okay, but what about your brother? What about Jacob? Okay, what about Israel? Israel never has a seat, right, with Esau. You see, you can go to the UN. You know, the UN. Hey, there's the Israelite nation ain't there, and they know who the Israelites are. You see, so they don't want to bring that out. You know, they want you to forget about what they did. Here it is. They throw you a bone, and you be cool. But see, the Lord sees all this, man. It says, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. You see, and they treat Jake like a stranger, right? Oh, they're the Africans. They're proverbs and bywords. Those are not our brothers, right? They say that we're brothers, but they don't really. It says, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of his distress. And isn't this what they do to this day? I mean, what has changed, right? They rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Yeah, and they rejoice. Okay, when Judah, is in a desolate state, right? And they speak proudly in the day of distress. It says, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Okay? So, they look on the affliction of Israel, you see, and what do? What they've always done. They made light of it. They speak loftily. They're really in the privileged position, okay? But the oppression of Jake is nothing, you see? So that's why I wanted to bring this out, okay? It says, in the day of their calamity, nor laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. It says, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. Okay? And, here it is. Jake trying to escape, from being captive, and these devils stood in the way. Let's see. It says, you know what? Matter of fact, because I was looking this up. Let's see. Yeah, you can go to Wikipedia and look certain topics up, and then it'll reference scriptures. Okay, but basically the point I wanted to make that what has changed, right? This is a modern day slavery. It's not a full out war, but it's a silent war. All right, just like that document that came out. All right. Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. It was a document that the government basically, they wrote up, on how to wage a war economically. Okay, mainly, at the population, but mainly at Jake. It's a modern day war, but what has changed? The history of these devils is it's the same. They look on the affliction that, we're in captivity, right? And they take full advantage. They take full advantage that Jake is in his lowest state. You see, and they lay hand on your substance in many ways now. Now, you know, you get paid. You know what I'm saying? That they already put their hand in your pocket. You see? Let's see. So I just wanted to bring that out, Lord willing. This was edifying. And like I said, you can look up this video. Let's see. Anti-white lunacy goes supernova in America. Here's what needs to be done before it's too late. So, you know, Esau's starting to, you know, they're starting to feel the oppression. You know, these curses are being lifted. You see, the shameful spewing. Okay, his nakedness is being uncovered. You know, he want to, you know, Esau want to fight back, but hey, the Lord's seen what he has done. All right, and he's going to require it. Okay, so Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawahshi, bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim and you Aquat that believe in all sincerity. Shalom.